League podcast, League versus Batman and Robin. Dun, dun. I'm Matt Durson. Head bob. Tilt. Head bob. No, no.
And my name is John Hunt, and learn it well, for it is the chilling sound of your doom.
Clay Inferno Von Freeze here, reporting in.
Welcome. We are finishing up I assume finishing up. We're probably not going to do another Batman. I don't know if we're going to do the Nolan ones ever. So,
But we did Dark Knight Rises like 10, 12 years ago whenever it came out. So
whenever it was released, we did an episode about it. Yeah, but we didn't do like a League versus kind of a deal. But
no,
go
maybe,
back and
maybe sometime.
It's
go
not
back
on
and
the,
listen.
yeah, it's not on the cutoff. It's like it has to be, appealing to the kids out there. Kids being middle-aged white guys like us.
Yeah, right.
Kids at heart and mature as children.
And since they never did make Batman Triumphant, which I didn't know until like today when I was doing a little research that was a plan.
Yeah, they were about to
another
go. They had already said like studio guys saw the footage from this and were like, "This is great. We want you to do another one." And then the movie came out and they're like, "Yeah, maybe just hold off on that for a little."
Yeah, I don't know, Joel or George
Foxy Poops.
or anybody.
I have to make a correction from last episode. John corrected me on air, but I felt kind of bad about it because I was
Sorry
saying
about doing that.
how horny Batman Forever was, and then you corrected me and said that Joel Schumacher was a gay man. So I appropriated. I thought he was the straight man because of how horny it was, baby.
Well, it's interesting because gay men can do that sort of like I used to work for a gay person and he used to sort of just run around and touch ladies and he's like, it's not sexual harassment because I'm gay. So it's just a whole different thing, I guess.
I guess.
I always like put a pretty lady up there. Ooh, yeah.
For all we know, for all we've heard, Joel Schumacher was a very well-liked, very nice
Like a
person.
very nice man.
Yeah.
What
And
a nice man.
Seems like it. But unfortunately, this is the mark of this one. And he apparently even apologized.
Yeah.
For
Him
making
and Clooney apologized on
movie.
numerous occasions. In fact, I guess George Clooney will give people their money back if you see him in public and be like, "Hey, what was the deal with that Batman and Robin? That was awful."
You'd have to give it to us twice.
That's right. We saw it twice so we could finish making fun of it.
Yeah, okay.
I wonder if he's like cheap and gives you like, $7, or if he gives you like what a movie costs now.
No, I mean, come on, $1997.
Yeah, you guys. Yeah, it's like I'm not going to be I'm not going to be a total jerk about it. I'm just going to walk up and tell him his movie sucked to his face.
And then
That'll
punch him.
And then
Sure. I mean, I remember seeing him on letter.
If you can swing one at his head, if he's bobbing around, he's like,
Yeah.
Cassius Clay. Cassius
He'd
Clay
make a great
Inferno up
boxer.
there.
I mean, I remember seeing him on Letterman once, and he was talking about, like, Letterman was like, "Oh, you're like a big star now," and he said, "Have you seen Batman?"
Yeah.
But whatever. This is it. Batman and Robin.
It was right before he became like a huge, huge star.
Right. I mean, he was on ER,
Mhm.
but like this was like a
TV
big.
to movie. That's when TV to movie jump was big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should tell this right off the bat. John and I and our friend Brom. Was it opening day that we went to see this movie?
It was. Yes.
And we knew it was going to be.
Yeah, 'cause
shitty.
I remember I went to see the special editions, the Star Wars special editions with my sisters. Maybe you were with us. I can't remember, but that
Nerd alert.
trailer came on, and right after I was like, because my sister still remembers me saying, I was like, that looks like a pile of crap, and it was. I was right. I mean, you can't hide it. It's not good.
No. So
I don't
yeah,
use
and
the
like
word crap in my vernacular nearly as much as you guys do, but whenever you say something is crap, I always perk up. And in this instance, I certainly agree with you. This is crap.
Well, the Secret Monkey, the comic we used to do,
Yeah.
his sort of thing was always saying crap when something was going wrong. So
yeah. So yeah, we made it like this obviously is well before you bought tickets in advance and all this stuff, but we went on like a Friday afternoon, right? Because we were in college, or I was. I guess you guys were too, obviously, but you're a little older. I don't know where you were.
I think I was done with college at that point.
So, but like we went on like a Friday afternoon, and like we've said this many times, but there was a guy dressed as Batman on the roof, and this was like June.
He was
right
like in the mid 90s.
Yeah, he must have been cooking up there.
Poor son of a bitch.
And we were like, oh no. So we go in, we buy our tickets, we sit down, we're ready to have a nice.
We're essentially the only three in the theater.
Yeah, essentially,
until a couple comes and sits in the same fucking row as us.
Mm-hmm. And we were having a great time. And if you were wondering why we always make that joke about we're trying to enjoy the film, this is where it comes from.
Wonder no longer.
We were kind of just having a laugh.
We were laying into it. I mean, I guess we should have been quieter. But also, why did that guy and his girlfriend have to sit in the same row as us when there was an entire theater you could have sat in?
Right. There was literally no one else in there except 5 of us. And this guy came over and said, guys, keep it down. I'm trying to enjoy the film. And I got so mad.
I always seem to get yelled at in public whenever I'm with you.
Oh,
like that weird guy at the Monkeys concert.
There's definitely a common denominator there. But I was like, well, it's not easy.
I'm trying to enjoy it too, but it's really bad.
Really hard. Try to enjoy it the only way I know how. But so then we kind of had to be quiet for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, which was unfortunate because it just kept getting worse.
I was like, I had these lines like on the tip of my tongue, and I was like, oh, I can't see anything.
Yeah, so, we left before the movie ended just because we didn't feel like.
Did?
Yeah, we left.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, we didn't see Alfred. Alfred lives. Spoiler.
It's
cured. Like we left before that part because we were like, I don't feel like dealing with this guy. Let's just go.
Yeah.
He ruined it for us. We were enjoying the film until he came
actually over. We were having a good time, and at the
wasn't there like a similar thing at the Monkeys? Somebody was trying to.
Yes.
Yeah.
This guy looked like Drew Carey was telling us to be quiet at a concert.
I know.
And then like you came over because you were working there, Clay, and you came over and started talking with one of us. It was during like intermission or something, right? And then he almost got up and was going to go over and yell at you, and one of your coworkers like stopped the guy from doing it. It was like, just sit down, man.
You know what's funny? That particular moment reminds me of something. There was like Mode of Living played at Plymouth Memorial Hall or something. Plymouth, North Dakota.
Yeah.
And classic venue.
And I had my jester hat on, and I went up to your sister, and I had like earplugs sticking out of my nose. I felt like I remember that and the Monkeys thing like the same way. Like I'm just like, I have not a care in the world. I'm just bopping over to you guys. I'm like, hey, it's the Monkeys. Look at us. We're all hanging out. It was cool. I'm working, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, that guy was trying to enjoy the Monkeys.
Singing and,
we weren't doing anything.
Trying to enjoy the show.
We were literally singing along to the thing. And it wasn't like, have you guys seen this video of this guy who went to the Adele show in Vegas? It's Adele, yeah. And he's got a selfie stick, and he's like he's recording himself singing along, but he's like in the aisle, and he's like just spazzing out and like crying. And
and we weren't doing anything like that.
No, but someone did tell him to please keep it. They said we're trying to enjoy the concert, but this is it's not like. This was a concert. It was loud,
loud. I couldn't even hear what you were saying to me.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was hearing.
By the way, those were the cheap seats, so that guy paid like not a lot of money to be like bit
right. Well, whatever. Some people just whatever. They have to shit on everybody's good time, I guess. But crap. Yeah, what a bunch of crap. So the 1997 version of this is that we actually went to see the movie again.
Oh yeah, when it came back to second run theaters.
Yeah, as terrible as it was, we were like, well, we have
But
to
you know what?
go
You
and
can't
finish.
recreate that magic. I
No.
remember going like, oh, I was having such a good time the first time I watched this, and then the guy got mad. But the second time I was like, oh, now this is like feels more like a job. Feels like work, you know?
I know, it's like this
That would
really
be
is
like
just
me making like, I know you guys didn't have a great time at Batman v Superman, but they're showing it in North Dakota, and I'm gonna buy tickets for everybody, and just like making you guys go to it.
that's kind of like what happened. So I mean, we wanted to go. I mean, like we really were like
We
we
thought
have
we
to
had
go. We have to go.
unfinished business.
Right. But it was
You didn't see if he
it
got
just made us
cured of
hate it more.
McGonagall syndrome or
Right. Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor,
syndrome.
yes.
McGonagall. That's even better. All right, so we're talking about Batman and Robin and box office of 238 million, which I was actually shocked at. A budget of 125 to one somewhere in the neighborhood of 125 to 160, which apparently 25 million went to Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh boy, everybody.
And because it took him like 6 hours to get into his full makeup and everything, and he didn't want to work late, like they had,
he had a contract thing that stated that he couldn't do over 12 hours or something.
yeah, a 12-hour a day. So, but half of it was getting into costume, so or in and out, I assume, right? So like they didn't have a lot of time. I also heard,
it was fucking ridiculous. Didn't need to take that much to make
Well-
like Mr. Freeze.
there was like the costume, or what was it? Oh, he had like an LED thing in his mouth for part
Yeah,
of it, right?
that sounds like a terrible idea all
They had-
around.
I know they had to wrap it up in tape or something.
Because it started leaking
like
battery
leaking.
acid in his mouth.
Yeah.
And the only reason everybody knew it, he's like, my mouth tastes like shit.
Why?
Yeah.
But why did they do that? Why did they need that?
They could have just done it in
That-
post.
Yeah, I mean, who cares? It's stupid anyway. The whole thing was stupid. There was supposedly other people that wanted to do it, but like that were gonna. They almost had Anthony Hopkins, for Christ's sake.
Well, that would have been
And-
a big mistake on his
boy.
part.
Yeah, on his part, yeah. But Schwarzenegger was like, I want to do it. And they rewrote the whole character for him. So, and apparently Joel Schumacher wanted like a big burly bad guy kind of.
Well, you should have had him play Bane, not
Well,
not
that's
Mr. Freeze or Dr. Freeze, as some podcast I was listening to kept referring to him as.
well, I guess he was a doctor.
Technically, yes.
One of the funny things at
Right.
the end of the Schumacher commentary was like, it's not like, it's like everyone's career just went downhill after this, like we got the governor of California over here, we got Uma, she's in Kill Bill, and then we got Clooney's one of the biggest stars in the world. We made out great.
I mean, Kill Bill was like 10 years later.
No,
Yeah,
but he was saying like
Right.
after this movie, it didn't
Right.
tank everybody's career.
There was there was some talk back then that it had, I mean, it kind of tanked the Batman franchise, but
But what
no,
happened to Chris O'Donnell? Didn't mention him in
that's
that.
true.
He's on one of those NCI
Yeah.
shows.
I think so. But apparently, so I found this quote kind of funny. 2009, Kevin Feige, who wasn't quite Kevin Feige, in 2009, but he was getting there because 2008 was the first Iron Man, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So he said Batman and Robin may be the most important comic book film ever made because it was so bad, it demanded a new way of doing things.
See? And then it gave you the Christopher Nolan trilogy.
Right. And then like the X-Men, Spider-Man movies of the early 2000s kind of people, because people were like, no, we can make a good comic book movie.
And
It's
Blade,
interesting. Yeah. I always forget Blade.
That's
All
really
right.
the dark horse, like that
Yeah.
people forget about because that's even like pre X-Men.
Yeah. I don't, 'cause- but
Spider-Man.
I don't think people know it was a comic book. That's the
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. We get let's start right off the bat. We get some cheesy credits with like the R. I mean the like the Robin symbol going over the whole thing, and then we get our
Amiga morph from Mr. Mahoney's art class.
Mr. Mahoney. I remember those days. I only had them for photography, but we used Amiga. All right, and then we get our nipples and our butts and our crotches and all that good stuff as they change into the Batman and Robin uniforms. I was watching, I'll just plug Joe Blow on YouTube, and they had a drinking game going along with this, and you would be shit-faced by the time you got to the end. If you watched this movie and did all their things. But one of them was take a shot every time they change into their uniforms in dramatic costumes, I guess. Whatever you go. In dramatic fashion. And then it's all drama.
Very dramatic.
Yeah,
with those costumes.
And then we get the big line, which was in the trailer, and I think only meant to be in the trailer when ChrisODonnell, old man O'Donnell, as they call him, turns around and says, I want a car. Chicks dig the car.
Which is they just lifted from the last movie.
Right.
Since Batman said it.
Yeah. And then he says, this is why Superman works alone. Head bob, tilt.
There you go.
Then Alfred says, he will cancel the pizzas. And then he kind of goes like,
he looks really sad about not ordering pizza now.
He's like, I really wanted
pizza. Yeah.
Anchovies. They're driving along, and my favorite Commissioner Gordon, Pat Hingle, everything is frozen out the Gotham.
He's like, oh, Batman, there's a new villain in town. That line.
The little Batman.
I
You
know
think
what
you're getting Batman 66 right there with the little TV. You know what I mean?
I know. It's so funny. Yeah, what is he talking into when he's that?
Go ahead, John. Sorry.
I was just saying that when we went and saw it, that once he said that, I was like, I knew what I was in for that day.
Yeah, there's a funny amount of times where they refer to them as villains and heroes throughout the movie. Like, it's kind of a little. I mean, I know we know, you know what I mean, but it's still like when Mr. Freeze says, "Kill the heroes" and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's like it's so weird.
I think at the time that when we went and saw it, we knew it was going to be bad, so we went in laughing at it, and but it just upset me for a while how bad it was.
Yeah,
it was a real tough watch.
Well, I have to ask you this at the top here, John, because I've been noticing the great model work you've been doing lately.
Yes.
Was when you're watching it either this time or like back then, were you at least oh, I kind of like this about Batmobile or something like?
At the time, no, I didn't like any of it, but I managed to get that model off of eBay for $1 plus shipping. So I was like, all right. So that I started doing research on what it looked like, and that made me sort of want to watch the movie again. And I approached the movie differently this time. I said, I know what this movie. I think if I was watching it for the first time, I'd be angry again, but I know what I was getting into. So I decided to just watch it for what it is. And I kind of enjoyed it this time.
All right.
Yeah.
So they're driving along, and he says, Commissioner Gordon is telling him, he's freezing all the guards. He's calling himself Mr. Freeze. And then I don't know if this is supposed to be Clooney going like, God, like sort of rolling his eyes. He just goes, Mr. Freeze.
I took it as more of the David Hasselhoff, like where he would be like, good job, Kit. Good job. Like that. Sort of repeat it.
I remember you did that all the time. You would say everything twice. So we get in there. Mr. Freeze is stealing a diamond.
From the dinosaur exhibit.
From, the Gotham Museum or whatever. So I think we get our first freeze pun or cold pun when he says, the Iceman coming. According to IMDb, there are 27 puns. That seems low to me.
I heard someone say like 42 or something like that.
There's no way. It's way more than 27.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I try to watch CinemaSins just because, one thing that's good about us putting out this podcast is, not even a lot of, podcasters cover it. There's a Mr. Sunday Movies. Like I went to the Apple like the podcast store and like was like search for Batman and Robin, like maybe like 10 episodes came out. I looked at my old podcasts, maybe like 5 or 6, like people don't even cover it.
Yeah, it's because it's tough to watch.
Well, it's due for its big renaissance, sort
That's
of like
right.
the
Here we go.
prequel movies.
Yeah, right.
That's right.
Everybody likes those now.
Everybody's revisit them now, right? So he gets his diamond or whatever, and then Batman and Robin come in. And he says, "Hi, Freeze. I'm Batman." Like,
Yes, very dramatic.
We're not even 5 minutes into this movie, and I'm like, this dialogue is so. I know we didn't cringe back then, right? We didn't, just like we did.
There wasn't even a word for it.
No, it wasn't even anything. But I was definitely felt something. I didn't know what it was, but. Then we have he says, "You're not sending me to the cooler." Robin comes in. This is like, I know we got a long way to go, but when Robin or one of them, he kicks the gun out of his hand, and it just kind of like, and it like sits right. It just kind of sits on the top of the dinosaur thing, right? It's at the whatever, and it looks so dumb. Like you couldn't have been like, "Oh, let's do this a little." That doesn't look. Let's film that again or something.
There was something I even saw.
Hey, we're making a comic book.
Yeah. I saw something that I paused it and I was like, are those toy cars in front of a model for the outside of this like thing?
Whoa.
And I couldn't tell. I was so disappointed. I just unpaused and moved on.
Yeah, it's not really worth
I didn't want to
worrying about. So then Mr. Freeze sends his evil hockey players and he says, "Yes, kill them, destroy everything." Like, oh, all right, well, destroy everything.
Well, I also remember at the time that we saw this,
Kill me.
that we were like, this is our movie Durst the Firestarter, because they go, "Oh my God, it's hockey players from hell or something." And we had skateboarders from hell, and all you did was make fire puns. And
this is like 3 years after our movie,
which we did.
Like
intentionally bad. Yeah.
Yeah, he does call him the hockey team from hell. ChrisODonnell does call him that. And then, like in a total Batman 66 thing, they have skates in the bottom of their boots.
Well, you need skates to play hockey.
Yeah. So they just kind of like skate around, and like they're playing hockey with the diamond and everything. And then there's the famous. What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age.
Yeah, but it didn't.
The big dinosaur. I know. Whatever.
What killed the dinosaurs? A large meteor came down and crashed, killed them all, and then the sky got all cloudy. But eventually it turned cold. It's too long to write, so
he couldn't say that. So yeah, he freezes the skeleton, and it falls down and whatever. And I love he's like, "Get the diamond," and one of them does like a hockey shot, and it just goes right into his hand. Like, what the hell is that? And he gets in his rocket thing, which was probably a toy. I don't know, but I love there's a part that you wouldn't even, unless you're watching this because it's totally ridiculous. He's like fiddling with the controls in his little rocket thing, and he goes, "Oh yes." It's like, why is he?
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
It's like, oh baby, oh yeah. It's so weird. And then like Batman comes in and he freezes his hands like to the thing. And why didn't you just freeze him like he froze all the other guys? It's all right. It doesn't matter.
Dangerous hands.
And they're gonna fly up to 30,000 feet, and he says, "Your heart will freeze." And he says, "Freeze, you're mad." Like, that's a total, like, Adam West line, but not even delivered as good as Adam West.
Freeze, you're mad.
That's right. Just freeze well. And Freeze has, like, bat wings.
We used to, around that time, whenever we would leave, we'd always go, "Take it, Freezy."
That's right.
That's good.
So then Robin comes in and he saves Batman, and he's like, "Oh, I thought you were rounding up some thugs." It's like, well, thanks, jerk. And then they
establish a little drama here.
The tension.
Yes.
So then they blow up the rocket and surf out on the doors,
as one does.
As one does, right? They catch up to him, Mr. Freeze, and Robin grabs the diamond, I guess, whatever. Freeze does like a weird like Iceman, I guess like Iceman from the X-Men kind of thing, and he kind of like I don't know, but he kind of just lands very, very gingerly. And then they go after him, and Robin's like, "I'll get him," and Batman's like, "No, Robin," and he freezes Robin. And he says, "You have 11 minutes." Like 11 minutes, I could stop you and freeze Robin. Why is it always this choice? It was the same thing in the last one, right? It's like,
Yeah.
you have 11 minutes. What are you gonna do? Save the boy or stop the villain? He calls him not the villain.
Both, maybe.
Yeah, it's like 11 minutes. It's plenty of time to get you and save him. Oh well, it's always that way because especially like there's like a hole in the wall that Freeze like he's like sealing up with his gun, but like he does it so slowly. I feel like Batman could have totally like gone in there, punched him, but whatever. So he takes frozen Robin and throws him in some water, and then heats the water up, and it turns all red as hot water does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was making spaghetti the other night, and I had to wait for the water to boil and turn red.
Turn red. Yeah. But I also like Freeze waves to him after he seals up his.
Well, half the time in this, Arnold Schwarzenegger isn't even Mr. Freeze. He's not in the costume. It's his stunt double.
Oh.
Because, like, so most of the times it was just Arnold in the close-ups. Even ChrisODonnell was like, I didn't film any scenes with Arnold. I hung out with him on the set, but we never filmed the scene together because it was always his stunt double.
Oh my God. Never imagine that.
That's what you get for $25 million.
Oh man.
And now me and the other guy from Always Sunny in Philadelphia in the last movie are going to make twins.
Hey, they are legit buddies, I guess. All right, so we basically have the same deal as we did with the Riddler with Poison Ivy, kind of in a way. Well, she's working on this thing, and it's like not John Glover is who actually I kind of find him funny in a lot of his roles.
He's good.
Not here, no.
He's a DC actor, and what I mean is he does a lot of voice actor stuff, but he was also Lex Luthor's dad in Smallville.
Yeah, he's done a lot of DC work. He was in something else too, right? Was he not the Flash movie, but was he in the Flash something? Whatever.
He was in Flashdance.
Yeah,
I saw him at the last Comic-Con and like almost went up to say hi to him, but I chickened out.
He is.
I didn't know what to say.
Well,
I saved him from silence.
Maybe you could just overact like he does in this movie.
It's a comic
like
book.
Everyone does. I know.
Yeah, it's make it a comic book here.
So he's trying to sell this venom to these. Oh God, it's so bad. All these guys in like Arab outfits and stuff.
Oh, it's like watching In Like Flint again.
Yeah, it's really, really bad. He's trying to sell these super soldiers. So he creates Bane. He's like, his name is Bane. They take the skinny little guy and it looks so ridiculous. It literally looks like they like blew him up like a balloon. It looks so stupid. And then
I guess that guy passed away.
Yeah, so his name was Jeep Swenson. He died not long after the movie. But apparently at one point he had the largest biceps, according to the Guinness Book of World Records in the world.
And then John Hunt came along.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, bam, suck it, whatever your name was.
Jeep Swenson.
I was like, feel it.
He was a wrestler. He probably did a lot of steroids because he died of a heart attack at a very young age, at 40, apparently.
Well,
just a couple months.
RIP. I do like how all the little like Bane like costumes and stuff that they like always dressing him up. I just like dressing him up.
Here's me in a trench
like
coat.
He's got like that or something. It's like it's very funny.
The big monkey outfit.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy was kind of watching him doing all this stuff, and then he goes, Pamela, and he goes over to try to sort of recruit her to his cause. Meanwhile, all the Arab guys, I guess, just are gone. I don't know where they go. He doesn't talk to them anymore. But then he kills her because she's like, oh, you're using my research to blah, blah, blah. And he shoves her over and throws some chemicals on her, and she like melts into the ground. It's very bizarre. Uma Thurman, I don't know if I have a hard time like thinking if she is the worst or the best in this movie.
She's basically just playing Mae West.
But like, did she get it? Is she like, this
I think she does get it.
Yeah.
I think she's like, not directly inspired by it, but, music from and inspired by Batman 66. And she's the only one that actually made I think the right choice to like really lean into that part of it, even though she's like maybe aping some other actresses or something from the golden age of Hollywood or whatever. But like also just like Eartha Kitt is, and like all of the sexy Bat ladies from 66.
I think that's probably, she leans into it. That's the best way you can describe it. She's just like, hey man, this is just a gig. I'll just have fun with it.
And I'm looking at it and I was like, that's a look that you'd see like on one of these like RuPaul's Drag Race shows or something.
Oh, exactly.
Like double eyeshadow and glitter. It's like, oh, I bet people try to do her costume all the time. Drag people.
She was ahead of her time. She was before RuPaul.
No, she's great.
On, right? Or maybe not ahead of her.
I gotta say, I mean, a special adolescent moment. Uma Thurman also, especially in this movie with her little tight bottom, was quite nice to look at.
The green tights and everything.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah.
I liked all of it.
All right, so we jump back to the Batcave now. They're doing some research on Victor Fries, a 2-time Olympic decathlete and biochemist. Like, damn, that guy's
pretty good.
When did he have time to do all that stuff?
Anyway, and then I became the governor.
That's right. So he was trying to help his wife. I mean, she had Ewan McGregor syndrome, and he's trying to do some research into that. But then he wants to freeze her so that she won't like.
I'm gonna go on the record and say that the model that they hired to play Mrs. Freeze, probably Nora, is probably the best acting in the whole movie.
She doesn't have one line. But anyway, yeah, so something happens and he falls into this thing. Arnold's classic, like, pain.
Come on, kill me.
And he comes out and like his body was mutated and he needs this suit to survive. And he uses diamond-enhanced lasers to keep him cold. I don't think that's a thing, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not a noted biochemist like he is.
This is the round that allowed me to break the ice.
Yeah.
I think, right?
I don't. Well, this is just Batman and Robin. And Batman and Robin, they argue. He's like, well, "You're going to need 10 hours in the simulator and everything like that." And then Alfred sort of does like a little bit of a thing. He's like, "I shan't be here forever." He's giving Bruce Wayne advice.
He's like, "I've got to run out to the store.
I shan't be here forever. You want your pancakes in the morning, don't you?" So anyway, back at the lab, Poison Ivy just sort of rises out of the ground, and we find out that she can kiss people to death. She kisses John Glover. I like when he says, "You look great for a dead woman." So stupid. Anyway, so then like
Joel Schumacher on the commentary at this part said no one's going to win an award for underacting in the scene.
Right.
In this whole movie. She starts just burning everything and she sees Wayne Enterprises, like the logo on a beaker, and she's like, well, it's his fault. Which, okay, sure. Oh, and then she also takes Bane with her, of course. She's like, we have work to do. But this might be, in this whole movie of really terrible scenes, this might be the worst. Arnold Mr. Freeze is directing his
yeah.
minions to sing the Snow Miser song from Year Without a
Heat
Santa
Miser.
Claus. No, it's the Snow Miser.
Isn't the song
But he's not
both
called
of them?
Snow. Yeah, I thought I'm
It's which verse?
Mr. Heat Miser. I thought the other guy was Mr. Cold or something.
Maybe it's Cold Miser. They're whatever, Heat Miser, Cold Miser, but you know the one.
It's
Everybody
one song.
knows.
It's one song, two verses. They each take lead.
Yeah.
Bit of
yeah,
a
yeah.
aficionado.
I thought he was Snow Miser.
Oh no,
Maybe
you're
it's
right.
Cold
It is
Miser.
Snow Miser. I'm sorry.
And he's
Just
like,
sudden.
whatever
Sorry and
I
ashamed.
touch turns to snow in my clutch.
sorry.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to hear.
Sorry, Nixon. You're all. It's good to hear you. So
Thanks for talking.
just something I never noticed here, and I don't know. This is dumb, but his minions are like eating frozen
Frozen food.
But yeah, it's frozen, and they don't seem very happy about this. Like, why do you guys work for this guy?
Because they'll die otherwise.
Oh, well, one of them dies anyway. But Vivica
Yeah.
A. Fox is in this scene for no reason that I can imagine.
Yeah.
She's like, "Hey, how about we heat things up?" And she's like, "My heart is cold to anyone but my wife." So whatever, there's no reason. But I think he calls his goon Frosty. He's like, "Frosty, come over here."
Yeah, it's good that his last name was Freeze so that it could work out, that he could just do all the cold stuff.
And then they have
just get Mr. Freeze to play Mr. Freeze.
All right.
Dr. Freeze.
So they have some exposition. He's going to freeze Gotham, blah, blah. And they says, leave. It's like, well, you just called me over here. Like, why did you just call me over and then you're telling me to leave? Because then he wants to look at his wife frozen in this cryogenic thing. Okay, so the next scene, we have Barbara showing up at Wayne Manor. This is Alicia Silverstone.
Babs.
I have two things I'd like to say about this scene. I remember that Mystery Science Theater that year did like riffs on scenes from movies that were out in the summer of '97.
Right.
And they showed that part where the door opens and she's like standing up and she's wearing her schoolgirl outfit and
Yeah.
hands up to her, and it's like Mike says, directed by Charlie Sheen. And the other thing that I want to say about Alicia Silverstone is she looks like she just got a Novocaine shot in her mouth because her lips are always like,
Yeah,
That's
her
what
lips are, yeah. It's like, I don't, so do we want to talk about this? I guess
do
we
it.
should. Please don't be offended. We're just reporting.
Well, you're reporting it to me because I don't know what you're talking about, literally.
Alicia Silverstone
Silverstone.
claims Silverstone claims to have lost 10 pounds to be in this movie. There was reports that she was supposed to be in it a lot more, but they had to cut a lot of her scenes because the costume wouldn't fit anymore. Not because she lost 10 pounds, but because some of it was gained back. Now, she was 20 years old, right? But she said she was body shamed during the press tour of this movie. People called her fat girl.
Yeah, even
All
the
this stuff.
production designer or the art director or something like drew a sort of derogatory type of illustration about her.
Oh, I mean, terrible. Because she's not
not
obviously
fat.
not fat. No, she looks great. But
Right.
like, I guess like when you think about it today, right? Like all you see whenever any actress, especially actress, but actors too, I guess, like male or female, whenever they're doing any kind of superhero or action movie, you see like they get ripped, right? Like, and maybe the fact that she just wasn't ripped, like it doesn't mean that she's not beautiful and she's not fat, but yeah, man, what a time. God, can you believe that?
Yeah, I
People-
hear actresses from, not just specifically her, but just like actresses all the time. Like I was listening to Busy Phillips' podcast, and she's like, yeah, I became famous at a really weird time, and like nobody, like females, males, like studio execs, nobody would like hold their tongue. They would be just like, you need to lose 10 pounds. Yeah, and like everybody would say it. It'd just be like an awful way to work. Those really suck.
Yeah, I mean, what a terrible. Yeah, like time to be famous, I guess, because you're just scrutinized. But I
I
don't
thought
know.
I thought the controversy you were going to talk about was the way she raises her kids or feeds her kids or whatever.
Oh, is that? I don't even know. What is the story
Oh,
there?
it's weird. So it's you know how like birds like will regurgitate their food and then spit it into their
Oh
baby
God.
birds' mouths. Yeah,
Oh.
that's like what she does. I mean, that was a while ago. I'm assuming her kids are
Yeah,
grown up more.
she's 45 years old. I assume her kids can feed themselves. They did that on Saturday Night Live. That was like a skit on Saturday Night Live. Wow, can you believe that was a real thing? All right. Well, either way, I don't care what she looks like. She's terrible, just like everybody else in this movie. Her acting is terrible. Not
it
her
really
fault,
is like
even. Everyone's just
like pluck stars and just put them in movie. Take stars, put in movie.
yeah, they just wanted to be able to sell more toys and get teenage girls to watch. Yeah. So, anyways, in this one, she is Alfred's niece. She is not related to Commissioner Gordon at all.
Yeah.
Seems like she should be Alfred's grandniece, but
Yeah, I know. I mean, he is like a million years old,
Just like your mother.
and she's Robin is being a little creepy with her, but that's all right. But then, so after she
boys will
like,
be boys.
He's being creepy with her, but then he's also like sibling rivalry with her. Like it's like, are they brother and sister, or are they like trying to get these rubbers off and put some other rubbers on? You know?
oh, good one, Clay.
Heyo.
And then so she like tucks Alfred into bed, and then she sneaks out on the motorcycles after she was all like, "Oh, I'm terrified of these things," but she's got that wild side. So whatever. So we find out Bruce Wayne is going to donate something to the Gotham Observatory. Oh, this is the next scene. I'm sorry, I should just. We have Elle McPherson here for
Yes.
no reason.
I dated a girl very briefly that looked quite a bit like her at one point in my dating career.
Nice.
Now I'm retired.
So Ivy shows up and she's wearing like a wig, but does anyone know who she is? Why does she need a wig? Right.
They
What
just,
is-
yeah, I don't know. They don't really care about that.
Bane should have been wearing the wig.
Yeah, that would have been even better. So she's trying to get Bruce Wayne to donate to her thing, which is basically going to like kill all people, but like, plants will be okay. And then Gotham Gertie is there too, of course. Bob Kane's wife, as we pointed out. And then the doctor is also that woman from Flatliners who was in Batman Forever.
Yeah.
Is back.
Yeah. She's in every Joel Schumacher movie.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, Ivy's there, and then when he kind of like turned her down, just like they did with the Riddler.
It's just like George Lucas said. It's poetry. It rhymes.
No, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. But they were like, Gotham Gertie is
Full-on
there.
poetry.
Listen to our Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
That's right. But she's like, oh, Batman and Robin protect us. So like, just to bring them up for no reason. But there's going to be, it's so funny, like they're going to have this auction where they auction off diamonds because they want to trap Mr. Freeze, and Batman and Robin are going to be there to like help the cause, I guess. But it's like in the first Batman movie, he was like, he didn't want to be seen. He didn't want anything like, and now
This
here
is
we
more
are.
Batman 66, where it's just
Right.
like, everybody likes Batman, and like, drink your milk, kids.
Yeah. Surprised he wasn't doing the Bat Tusi.
Drink your milk. Yeah.
It would be easy for him to. He would just have to move his arms. He wouldn't have to move his head. That does it naturally.
Yeah, that's right. We cut to Freeze, and he's watching his wedding video, and Frosty comes back and says, "Hey, boss, you should look at this." And he freezes him, and he says, "I hate when people talk during the movie."
He's like, I'm trying to enjoy the film.
Yeah, that's what. Maybe that's where that guy got it from.
He was inspired by Schwarzenegger. Come over.
Imagine that. If only we could like go back in time. We'd use our time travel to figure out stuff like that.
Yeah, I
Was it
would.
before or after Schwarzenegger said that?
Yeah. At what point did that guy say that in the movie? So yeah, this weird auction. It's like a weird sort of jungle theme. I don't know what the hell is going on here. But Batman and Robin are there. And then, like, I don't know what's
They've had
going
a
on. I mean, I
renovation
guess,
at that museum since the first Batman movie, that's for sure.
yeah.
A whole redo in there. A lot more lights.
Well, after
Swirling and twirling around.
I guess
Can't
after
wait
the
for black light.
after the Joker painted over everything, they were like, we need to
Let's spritz this
rethink
up with
this.
some neon.
Yeah.
It is the 90s after all. Isn't neon the 80s? It is the 90s after all.
So what I guess, like, so although there's all these like hot women there and they're wearing like these diamond necklaces, and are men bidding on the necklaces or bidding on the women? It's
They have,
very
like, that's like one of
weird.
those like bachelor auctions where you like get to go on a date.
Yeah, just
So,
like in
her
Crown.
thing was Poison Ivy, a night out.
But these guys are all like 50,000 years old, and these women are like in their 20s. It's
Well, that's why they're bidding so high.
Yeah, and
I
it's
think-
like
yeah.
she's not promising you can start digging around the potting soil or anything. You know what I mean? She's just like a date.
She kind of hinted at it because she said you'll get everything you see and everything you don't, too.
Yeah.
Maybe she meant Bane because he was in disguise.
That cuts to Bane. He's in her wig, like.
So yeah, Poison Ivy's there, and she blows her like her. So take a drink every time she does this too. She blows her like pink stuff all over, and every man is
That's
suddenly
kind
in
of
love
her
with her.
thing, though. That's like her like Wonder Woman's lasso. You know, like that's her power. is
Yeah,
blowing
I get
her
it. But I
pollen.
mean, she does it a lot in the movie. Just saying. But yeah, she says things like, "My garden needs tending," and whatever. We talked about Chase Meridian in the last movie, but this is like turned up to 11. So like Batman and Robin are bidding on her because she has the necklace, and they're all like, they've been sprayed or blown on with that stuff, whatever the hell it is. Pheromones. Thank you.
They're blown.
And he takes out his Bat card, his Batman credit card. Never leave the cave without it.
Yeah,
One of the funniest moments
that's a groaner.
in the in the commentary was Joel Schumacher just like, "Yep, that was product placement. We had to do a lot
I
of
don't know
different
what it was a
masters."
product placement for, because if you look at
Like
it, it says like
MasterCard.
Goth card or something
Yeah, it
on
says,
it.
like,
Oh, right, but I think it's like the visual symbol of like MasterCard. So we just
Probably
like-
is. Yeah.
Oh.
And that's like the slogan, isn't it? Like, don't leave home without
Yeah,
it.
he says never leave
That's
the cave
that's
without
American
it.
Express, isn't it?
Yeah, it is American. You're right.
Who knows? He was like, I agreed to it. You know,
Yeah,
that's kind of how he is. It's like
yeah,
just
he's
a
got
funny
all
little
the
clip
toy
to hear. It's
companies
funny.
offering suggestions for designs, and then advertisers like put in our credit card. So yeah, this movie was just one big commercial for a bunch of crap.
Yeah, a bunch of crap.
Oh, take a drink every time we say the word crap.
So Freeze shows up and he tells everyone to chill. And then Ivy's kind of like, oh, well, Bane, I like this guy. And then, like, for some reason, the Gotham Observatory is a giant man. Why?
It's like
Right.
it's like the statue of Atlas, and he's like holding
Yeah.
the observatory in his hand.
Yeah.
Which even in
Yeah,
the
it's like Schumacher
there's
likes to
kind
to
of-
incorporate a lot of the human form into the architecture.
I guess so.
and
Yeah,
there's
it
kind
is.
of a visual callback even to like Tim Burton, like that kind of like carries it through like those big, Russian statue kind of things. And
I feel like Tim Burton really rolled his eyes at this one. I mean, like,
Oh,
I
no,
know it's.
I'm not saying it's better. I'm just saying it's like it's like there's elements of that are kind of like a visual like vocabulary of these movies a little bit, and like the animated series and stuff.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. But I don't know.
And
You're
it
right.
has
The
to be
giant.
cold and covered in ice.
Well, the giant. Yeah, they like have this chase around this. You're right. The giant Atlas statue. It's not just the giant man.
It was
was
funnier
making a
when he
joke.
said it was a giant man.
Yeah, I know. So, and Batman turns
woman.
off Robin. He's like, "You can't make the jump," and he turns off the engine on his thing, and so that just kind of like.
Yeah, well, he's like, I can make it. He's
matter.
like, no, you can't. He's like, yes, I can. I can. And then he like does the prefix code of Star Trek 2, turns off Robin's motorcycle, and almost kills him.
Yeah, it almost seems like it's more dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, Redbird override signal. Beep, beep, beep.
Yeah.
It's
So
kind of mean. And then, like, ChrisODonnell was like, oh,
yeah, he's
first
all
of all, he
mad.
almost dies, but then he
freaks
starts
out.
crying.
Like, no. But meanwhile, Batman catches Mr. Freeze, so that's all cool.
Yeah, somehow.
Yeah, and apparently there was some deleted scenes in there because or not deleted because they never filmed it because they didn't want to have a fight scene. They didn't have money. But yeah, when he gets back, Robin is all mad. It's like, it's your rules, and he's like, you're living in my house. Like, yeah, it's
Great.
kind of my rules.
Give you a motorcycle and everything.
Yeah, like, what do you mean? He's like, if you want to stay in this house, head bob, tilt. Meanwhile, Alfred is making this CD-ROM. I
It
love
was the
that
90s.
bit of 97.
And can I just say something on, I have to talk about this as someone that likes to throw up monitors in the trash. That is a special edition 20th anniversary Macintosh. That is a highly sought out computer in the vintage computer market. They didn't make very many of them. And the fact that it was in Batman was kind of like a product placement, obviously. But it's like this special kind of, remember like in the 80s when you'd like use somebody else's stereo, it would be like all nice and like glass and stuff. And it's like, oh, the CD in here, shut the little glass door. Like that's what he's working with there.
So he's making this little thing for his brother because he knows he shan't be around forever. He wants his brother to come and be the butler at Wayne Manor, but he doesn't want to.
But his brother's 2 years older than he is, so it doesn't really make sense.
But meanwhile, Bruce Wayne comes along. He's like, "Oh, that damn kid," and he's like, "Well, like typical Alfred stuff."
Yeah, David Conference stuff.
I can't even.
Can we go back a little bit to Alicia
Please.
Silverstone's character? She might, in the early version of the script, she maybe wasn't Alfred's niece biologically, but it's kind of like how it's like, oh, family friend is like uncle this or that.
Oh, I see.
But there's like a deleted scene about that too on iTunes, whatever extra.
Well, we'll get there, I guess, later. But yeah, she's definitely family because that's a big part of the movie is everybody's family.
Yeah, it is the precursor for Fast and Furious.
Absolutely. So meanwhile, Dick catches her coming home with the motorcycle, and he's all like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh, well, okay, you got me. I got thrown out of school for being too rambunctious." But I don't know. There's still kind of still.
She's
You're
like
right.
in London in like a biker gang. None of that makes any sense.
No, what I mean? It makes no sense. Like nothing in this movie.
You're like going
sense.
to Oxford or whatever it's called in here, and
Oxbridge. Yeah.
You're going to Oxbridge, and but you're like going street toughs at night in the London.
Yeah.
Streets.
Well, she's apparently her deal is she's trying to win money by street racing so that she can give it to Alfred.
Family.
And he doesn't. Yeah, and then she doesn't have to.
This is Fast and Furious.
It is exactly street racing.
I can't believe the Fast and Furious ripped off Batman and Robin.
I know, of all the movies. But her goal is to win enough money to give it back to Alfred because he's been supporting her apparently. But she wants him to leave this life of servitude, which is kind of to be honest, if this movie had nothing else in it and it was just like, oh boy, this poor Alfred guy has been serving these two dopes, sandwiches for his whole life. Like, maybe there's a point here. Maybe she's right. Maybe this is.
But also like his
not
brother, I think it almost kind of hints to like what we don't get to like later. But it's like his brother seems like this cool, like maybe he's a spy or something. So maybe you don't know if there's some sort of history with Alfred.
Yeah, he's also like a butler for some like rich family somewhere like
colonizers.
Yeah, something weird going on, but whatever. So anyways, yeah, Dick is like, no, Alfred's family. Alfred and Bruce are family. She's like, family? All he does is like does your laundry and everything. That's not family. So it's it was a different take. So I didn't mind that, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a little bit. We love our Alfred stories, our little Alfred stories.
Little Alfred. All right, so we go to Arkham Asylum. Reese is getting thrown in there by also former governor Jesse Ventura. Two governors in this one scene.
That's right.
And they're even Jesse Ventura, who's only been in a couple movies, can't tone it down. He's like, aha, freeze. It's like terrible. But this is where we get the line that John quoted earlier. It is the chilling sound of your doom. So good.
And then like he can't go out of like the cold zone, which is just like blue light with the gel on it. Like
when he tries to leave, he goes like he falls down and can't do anything. Very interesting. Meanwhile, Ivy and Bane I guess she's looking for a hideout, and she finds these Turkish baths, and they're like more neon gangster guys just hanging out in there. What are they doing? Like what? Like, hey man, these are our Turkish baths. Oh well, whatever. But Bane
Schumacher said that he wanted to include Arkham Asylum, and also they also said that like he pitched the studio Batman Year One, and kind of didn't get to do that, obviously. But he like wanted to. He always thought that Arkham Asylum was like a cool kind of like aspect of the Batman lore.
Sure.
I apologize. I disappeared for a bit because
I was like,
my speakers, I couldn't get them unmuted, so I was just spending last 3 minutes trying to figure out what's going on.
I see. Do you have
where are we?
Insights?
It's good to hear.
Well, thanks
for talking.
Ivy and Bane just found their hideout in the Turkish baths.
Oh yeah, good stuff.
And there were just guys hanging out in there dressed in neon outfits.
That's how Turkish baths work.
So now we have your favorite fireplace, Clay. Bruce Wayne and Mel McPherson are having a little dinner.
They always have one of these.
And like apparently he calls her Ivy. That she's like, well, Bruce, I'm not saying we have to marry, but he's like, oh, Ivy. It's not that bad, but yeah, he keeps seeing Ivy in all his.
Hey, look, we've all been there. Imagine someone else.
Here's the thing: like scenes like this really remind you that maybe Val Kilmer like woke up one day and like, or Michael Keaton went to bed and he woke up and he was Val Kilmer, like Gregor Samsa style. But I cannot believe that the Michael Keaton Batman woke up one day and became this guy. It's really just not the same.
I have to say, like, he's terrible as Batman. As Bruce Wayne, I buy George Clooney, actually. He's okay. Yeah. The scenes with Alfred are actually the best scenes in the whole movie. Yeah, they're like, they should be in a different movie. They don't even belong in this. Yeah. Sometimes we make this joke like this person's acting in a different movie, but it's usually because they're overacting compared to everyone else. But the scenes
guys
where
have like a little moment together, a couple of times.
Right. The couple of scenes between Bruce and Alfred, they're in a different movie, but they're in the good movie. Everybody else is in the bad movie.
Yeah. That's like the ER like close-ups and stuff. Like that's like the TV, like intimate, character building shit.
What did you say, John? I'm sorry.
I said, well, if there's a way you could edit this into a good movie, but I don't. I think you could with Batman Forever, but I don't think you can do it with this one.
I don't think this one's too far gone. So anyway, we go to Dick and Babs. Barbara, she's doing her street racing. She's getting all fast and furious. She's like, how much coin to play? And this is your Coolio scene.
Rest in peace. What's weird about the Coolio scene is that he doesn't have a song on the soundtrack.
That's weird. He was apparently supposed to play Scarecrow. If they ever did in the next movie. One.
And
then Coolio's go on.
Go ahead, John.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, and Coolio was just cut out of the Daredevil movie completely. So,
yes, poor guy. What is your Coolio story?
I have a funny rock and roll Coolio story. So, R.I.P. Coolio, who was also like on. He played like his last voice acting thing on the new season of Futurama. If you guys are watching that, it's looking pretty funny.
Oh no,
because he plays like the Kwanzaa bot or something. It's really funny. But anyway, so Coolio, a few years back, probably 10 years ago, is going to play at the club that I worked at in North Dakota. And the promoter was like, he's like a professional guy, but he just like sent like his intern to like pick him up at the train station or the airport or something. And this kid was like, his family was having a cookout, right? And so he picked him up like at the airport or whatever, and then like brought him to his like family's cookout.
I was hoping that was what you were going to say.
And introduced him to his whole family. They like hung out there and like, like they had a bunch of food and like they were just like hanging out at his family's cookout. And then like he came to the show and like did the show.
Wow.
And
Isn't that funny?
that would be the best. Just spend a day with Coolio at your family cookout.
Yeah, because it's kind of like you wouldn't like. That's not like I'm like older now, and like that would be like really unprofessional to do. Like you're supposed to like send a car or like an Uber or something to lead. You know what I mean? Like, but it kind of like was, what do they call it? Like beginner's mind. Like it was actually kind of the perfect thing to happen, even though it's not like exactly like professional or like how you're supposed to do things. But he like that kid like like would have got fired if he was working for some big company, but because he was just having a good time and hanging out with Coolio at his barbecue, like he just had a blast and nobody was mad about it at all. It's just a funny story.
Gee, Coolio was like, man, what the hell? The hell is this?
Probably a little bit, but he seemed like a cool
But he
guy,
might have
so
been like,
just rolled with it. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind some hot dogs and chicken wings or something.
Yeah,
A little
exactly.
hamburger, a little
Steak.
cheeseburger.
That's my
Well, that's a good story. I'm so glad we got that.
And that's an exclusive to this podcast.
That's right. You won't hear that on the 10 other
Coolio cookout.
Coolio cookout. So anyway, yeah, he's running these badass street racers, and they have balloons.
As Jonathan Crane, do you think?
I mean, they don't say, but yeah, they have these balloons. Then we have this really weird long racing scene, and Dick hangs on to her with his, like he's hanging by his foot or whatever. He saves
didn't
her.
even say she like fell off a bridge or whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, she
Just
did.
It's a long scene, and then he's hanging.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean,
maybe it's a couple things in there.
Well, she fell off. She didn't make the jump, I guess.
And it's a very bad. It's a bad effect, a cheesy effect. It's very poorly done.
Very, very bad. You're right. Yeah, and this is where we find out she wants to pay Alfred back, and then she says he's dying. So she actually tells him that. She actually tells Dick that Alfred's dying. He's got McConnell. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Bruce is like, yes, he's dying.
No, yeah. That's actually kind of a good line because
Alfred's not sick.
He's not sick. He's dying. Head wobble.
I could picture Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne saying that one.
Yeah, that's true. As far apart as they are.
Yeah.
So, all right, cut to Freeze in his cell, and for some reason they give him an alarm clock. Just, I don't know what, so he can get up on time. Like he breaks the alarm clock and he turns it into like a little like Nora like snow globe. It makes no sense why there's even an alarm clock in there.
By the animated series.
Oh, was it? No.
Yeah, that's what.
Really? The snow globe. The snow globe, not turning a clock into one.
Not the clock, right? No, I get the
snow
globe. Yeah,
but I wish they had drawn more inspiration from that cool looking Mr. Freeze suit in the animated series.
I wish they had just got Patrick Stewart to play Mr. Freeze. And
apparently he was never really in the running. That was like a fan.
Well, who else was bald back then? I could have done it. No one.
Anybody.
Patrick Stewart's the only bald man in.
Arnold Schwarzenegger wore a bald.
Shirley Helmsley?
He wasn't even bald. He wore like a bald cap. You don't even have to be bald to overact as Mr. Freeze. So then Ivy comes in, she kills Jesse the Ventura and the other guy who has a patch for some reason. I don't know why he had to have a.
That guy, both of those are pals. I don't know if you guys already talked about it. They're pals with Schwarzenegger in real life. One guy played Conan not Jesse Ventura. The other guy played Conan.
In
in the
TV
Universal
show,
Studios.
right?
Universal
in the TV version of Conan. It's a great
Oh,
job.
And he was like his stunt double on the movie? Something
Oh,
like
was
that?
it?
I think so. He was one of Arnold's doubles.
Oh, okay.
So he was probably Mr. Freeze for a lot of this movie.
Yeah, it probably was. He should get top billing, even though Schwarzenegger got top billing.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, they're like, oh, go get your stuff. Riddler and Two-Face costumes are hanging in the property locker at Arkham, which is a little nod to the last movie. Bane, it's just so. This is like another thing that just
This is a badly delivered line.
Well, Bane puts his stuff in like a shopping cart, and he's just running down the hall with it, and guys just keep jumping at him and bouncing off. And it's like, why do you keep just jumping at this guy? Makes no sense. And then he says, like, "Oh, laundry service that delivers."
Wow. That's the part that I was like, wow.
Yeah, wow, indeed.
But that was before their time, because now you can probably get all that stuff through.
You can definitely. I had laundry delivered all the time.
But at the insane asylum, though. Hmm?
Well, there is actually a line I don't mind right here. Maybe the only line of the whole movie is when he says, "You and Meatloaf retrieve my wife." He calls Bane Meatloaf. It's actually kind of funny. But she says, "You never said anything about a wife." I love how she's like this villain who wants to destroy the world, but the sanctity of marriage, she really is behind that. All right. There's like Batman and Robin decide like, no, we have to go after Poison Ivy. Yeah, we don't love her anymore. We shouldn't fight with each other.
I can't
That's a
believe
nice
we're fighting
stem.
over a bad guy.
Well, that's right. Another reference to bad guy. But then
No,
Not
bad.
a
Yeah.
bad guy. A woman.
Oh. But then they're like, oh, nice stems though. Bulbs too. Boy, I'd like to fuck her. Like, I mean,
Yeah, it was very horny.
oof. So
This style at the time.
Is this where they're at the weird set at this part?
you'll have to be
That part-
more specific.
I guess
yeah,
it's the
the-
observatory.
Yeah, the observatory. He's got to get his diamond because his suit is running
It's
low.
like, and then it's like it seems more like a circus because they have these
I
like,
don't know
spotlights
what
in the background.
Yeah, I
they
don't-
are, because it's very much kind of like, I don't know, like in the
It's
like
super
the,
abstract.
the actual circus in the last movie.
Hmm.
It's what it looked like there.
Yes, exactly.
And yeah, so like Bane is there and whatever he's fighting them. Ivy is trying to seduce them.
Can I
Bats-
ask this? What is the deal with this? Is this an observatory or is it an ice cream factory?
Well, Freeze is. Oh, you're right, because he must be right because he throws Robin into
He throws Robin into the
a
pistachio, or whatever.
green ice cream.
Yeah. And but I'm like, I thought they were in an observatory. Why?
Why
this
is there
part
ice
of the
cream?
movie
Yeah, why is
looks
there a
so
vat of
bad?
green goo at the?
Yeah.
I guess I think you're right. I thought it was ice cream, but
Yeah, Joel Schumacher said as much, I think, in the
Oh,
in the commentary. But I'm like, but I thought they were but I don't understand. But this was also the part where everybody gets knocked down, and you said that.
yeah, this is what we're coming up to.
Again,
Your favorite
again.
part. So like, but there is a funny line, I guess. Well, not that funny, but Poison Ivy says something about an anatomically correct rubber suit. Turns
Yes.
her on.
Oh my.
All right.
I
Or
always
you
thought this
weird.
was supposed to be body armor, but they keep mentioning that rubber suits in
Yeah,
the
they keep
Schumacher.
mentioning rubber suit. You can't hide it. But yeah,
I
they
think
could
they're
say
just
like
kind of like
Kevlar
not
or
even
something.
thinking about it. Is it armor? Is it rubber? Yes, to both.
Yes, it's rubber armor.
Like, let's get on with this movie and get it done. It's a comic book.
But yeah, here we go. There's a spiral staircase going, and Commissioner Gordon is there with his guys, and he sends his cops up after Mr. Freeze. And in like, talk about Three Stooges or whatever the hell you want to call this, Freeze kicks the first guy. And
They go down like dominoes.
They go tumbling down like dominoes. And
Durson, this is what Durson said while we were in the theater before we got yelled at.
he says, "What a bunch of inept idiots I have working for me."
That just made me giggle.
That might have been it. That might have been the thing that that broke that guy. But like the look on Commissioner Gordon's face as he watches his guys go down, like it's it's just basically what we've been saying through all these movies. Like the cops in Gotham are totally useless, and it's just like the signal.
Yeah, goodness, quick,
Yes.
my inept idiots.
Yeah,
They
the
can't do the job. What the yeah, light the beacon.
The beacon. Yep. Oh man, John's been waiting for that one for like
Yeah.
3 weeks.
I've been waiting for it since I started doing this podcast in 2008 or whatever it was.
But as we mentioned, yeah, there's like a weird scene where she's about to kiss Robin. Batman comes in and says no because he knows that it will kill him.
Poison lips.
Robin gets all mad and he throws him into this green, I guess it's pistachio ice cream.
Yeah, I just like throws him into the you can't do that on television vat.
And unlike the Joker, he doesn't come out different at all.
He's
No.
not like deformed or anything.
No, but he's mad.
Well,
He's just
I guess he did.
mad.
I guess he did change then.
That's right.
It was a transformation. He went in a hero and came out a loser.
And he says, I'm going solo. And we get a head bob. And
What happened here?
now we cut to Ivy. Now there's for some reason, Mr. Freeze is like, you get my wife. I'll go get my diamond. So
Yeah.
Ivy goes
That's
to
asking for trouble.
to Nora's little special cryogenic freeze
Her man cave.
man cave, and she kicks the plug out. And I guess responsibly that kills her. And she tells Freeze that it was Batman who did it. And then he gets really mad and he says, you just freeze the whole world.
Yeah, I thought Batman didn't kill, and then she's like, "Watch Batman Returns. You'll see he does."
But then, like, once he freezes the world, our plant's going to take over, and there will be only two people left.
Absolutely
Adam.
makes sense.
And
Yeah, because that would be great, I guess. It's not like they're trying to control anything. They just want to freeze it and then plants.
Then, because you know how
Adam
well
and
plants grow in
Adam
the
and
cold.
evil. That's what he says. Adam and
Yep.
evil.
Adam and Evil. At least it's not an ice joke.
Yeah. Adam and freeze.
But it just it's not an ice joke, but it just kind of makes you like look at John or Justin on the other side of you and go, okay, I guess that's their plan. It kind of very much, even the solution.
We thought
to
Durson
it,
was having a seizure, but he was fidgeting and sighing so much.
I know.
yeah, but kind of the solution to how they fix it too is very much like Cobra mass device. You know, it's like okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna have the mass device so we can be rule the world and stuff.
Yeah.
I guess, but just the two of us.
I want to rule the world. It's
Yeah.
so much responsibility and
Yeah.
headache.
Well, if everybody's dead, it's just
Oh yeah, that'd be
plants.
easy then. Yeah,
plant.
but plants, I don't think they grow well in cold.
Well,
You have to get
you
something
know, she's
very
got,
hard, like a pine tree.
She's got her like mutant plants though. It's basically like Little Shop of Horrors.
That's
with
what
the
I was
little
gonna say.
plants.
That prop with the plant that played brilliantly by J.B. Smoove on the Harley Quinn.
Oh, yeah,
friend
definitely,
from Curbcast.
definitely.
He likes
Yeah.
the Amber podcast. But anyways, yeah, like that plant is like the worst. There's really bad props in this movie. That is the worst prop I've seen ever.
This
It's
movie
so
goes. This movie goes back and forth between looking like an expensive movie and a cheap like local cable production.
Roger. There was
know?
very Roger Corman that plant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. So, like there's more fighting over who's going to go after Ivy. And this is when, so Alfred gives his CD-ROM to Barbara, and then she just watches it. Like, what the fuck?
Here, deliver
He
this
knew
to
that
someone.
you-
Oh, this is
Probably
over.
bad, eh?
Oh, well, yeah, but I mean, it's still not cool. Not cool. Sorry,
Yeah,
so
she
they,
keeps opening all his mail too. It's not nice.
Uncle Alfred, you have a subscription to Playboy?
Oh,
You're getting an awful lot of student loan consolidation things. You haven't worked that out yet? You're like 8 years old.
Anyway, so we have a funny, not even funny, but another great Commissioner Gordon moment when Ivy seduces him into getting the keys to the Bat Beacon, as you hate that it's called.
The beacon.
But it's so funny because literally last movie, Chase Meridian could just do it, but he's like, I'm the only one with the keys. But who cares?
Well,
So
he did that because of Chase Meridian.
I guess that's right. There you go. So, yeah, when Babs looks at the thing, by the way, I should have mentioned, she discovers that they are Batman and Robin. She's like, oh, look at that. Not really surprised at all. Meanwhile, so yeah, they use the Commissioner
Is that when
Gordon's
she figures
keys.
out the password?
Oh, yeah.
It's
It's
the easiest
it's the easiest
ever.
password in the world. It's 3 fucking letters.
Hey, Steely Dan fans out there?
All right, so meanwhile, yeah, they use the Commissioner Gordon's keys. They chain the bat signal, the bat beacon, into a Robin beacon. And Robin's like, hey,
Into a bird
Right.
call.
yeah, she's looking for me.
I don't love this whole part where it's like, yeah, well,
It's
Robin
not my
and
favorite.
Batman. Like, what the fuck?
Not your
difference does it
favorite.
make?
Did you say?
Not my
Yeah.
favorite. I hate that whole little part, and in that Robin's outfit, like, is just Nightwing's outfit, and that's not.
It's
Ooh.
Nightwing's outfit in red. Yeah.
With red, yeah.
And then they New 52. They're like, this is what Nightwing wears now. It's red.
I do. There's one line that I don't hate when he says, she wants to kill you, dick.
Yeah, I know.
yeah, that is good.
That is not a capital D dick when he says that. And then they make up. He's like, I need you as a friend, a partner, and blah, 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 blah. Anyways, we're getting up to the big finale.
Finally.
And yeah, Mr. Freeze is going to use his big telescope and the satellites, and there's all kinds of dumb explanations for everything.
You know how telescopes.
Yeah, he's gonna
shoot
freeze
lasers through them.
Gotham and then the world.
Yeah, that was a bad reading too.
Yeah.
You did a
Yeah.
better job.
Oh, thanks. So then we get this weird. Barbara goes into the cave, and there's like
Yeah,
sort of
and then-
max headroom.
Yeah,
outbreak.
that's what everybody thought AI would be like. The big hello, Barbara.
Yeah, the Max Headroom.
Yeah.
What was
He's like,
actually funny was I was on our Peloton and they just added you could watch HBO on there. And the pain in the ass thing is you have to log in every time, but I remember a password. So I remember it's just Peg. So and then I'm on the Peloton and then it like looks at if somebody were to walk by, it looks like Alfred is like my Peloton coach. You know, let's
Can
keep
you
moving up. Don't got a hill coming up, up. Yeah,
I'll make you a sandwich
Go
when
ahead.
you're done.
we are going to cast you as the next Robin. Just you wait.
I've got an extra Batmobile right here for you, and I've got an appointment for you to join Van Halen on stage. Listen to our Batman. Wait, is that the one that got
first
raised?
one, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, no one's gonna get the joke now.
damn it.
No one's listening anyway. It's
That
fine.
was a good one.
It's fine. Fine.
But people that know. If you
The
know,
three
you
of
know.
us.
The three of us. Yeah. So anyways, I took the liberty and he made a suit for her and she suits up and we get
Like,
the
you know,
bunch.
here's the tragedy of this suit. She's the only one without nipples.
I know.
Right.
But we do get the butt shot, so it
Yeah,
should
so
show
that's
that,
something.
there's no discrimination here or anything like that.
No pink
So-
plaid, Batgirl.
So Robin goes to the Turkish bath to see Ivy, and she reveals the whole plan because he's like, I need to trust you.
Well, yeah, she's like, kiss me, and he's like, well, tell me, and she's like, I'll kiss me and
Yeah.
I'll tell you. He's like, tell me and I'll kiss you. So she blabs.
She's like, oh yeah, Freeze is gonna freeze the whole planet with
I think he probably could have worked that out on his own anyway.
probably. But the good thing is he's wearing like some sort of lip protection or whatever.
He's got
Some sort
the plastic, rubber
Yeah.
lip.
of rubber
What is it?
lips, is it
Yeah.
called? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it seems like
Yeah, they're rubber lips.
He put in one
It
of
wasn't-
those vampire like wax lips with the fangs and kisses her. Right before he kisses her, he swaps it in.
he goes in to kiss her, just right into his mouth.
And then she just pushes him into the water. Like I'm like, oh, what a hero you are.
Stuff. The most pathetic of heroes.
And then Batman shows up and she says, my vines have a crush on you. And like her vines tie him up. And then we get Batgirl to the rescue. Because you got to have girl on girl, right?
Oh, yeah, that's my favorite.
But she says, like, you give women a bad name or whatever. There's all kinds of.
Give love a bad name.
Yeah.
It's all it's all this woke bullshit.
And then she kicks her into like her flower. Well, then she goes,
all the way down to her flowers.
Oh.
Okay.
And then it just closes up on her. And that's the end of Poison Ivy? I thought she controlled plants.
Well, not
what
this
is
one.
This thing? No.
You see, it's a rubber plant.
Is this kind of like a Venus flytrap thing, I guess? Is that what we're supposed to believe?
Yeah, my favorite guy on WKRP.
So then they're all like, yay! And there's a terrible line when Batman says, not bad person or bad lady.
Yeah.
Not very PC. Yeah.
Not very woke is what they meant to say.
Yeah, that's right. Not very woke because it's woke bullshit. Cringe. It's very cringeworthy.
They didn't have cringe and woke back then, I guess. Yeah.
But then they're just like, gotta go.
But she's like, it's me. I'm like, well, yeah, I know. Not too hard to figure out.
Duh.
So then Freeze is there. He's up in the observatory. He's got the thing going. He's like, let's kick some ice. Oh, man, he starts freezing the whole city. And the good guys are all the heroes. They're all driving down.
I think
did you guys watch? I have to ask this question. Did you guys watch this all at once, or did you take small bites out of it?
I have watched it 3 times.
What?
Twice with the in the background as I'm working. Twice with the because I always watch a movie when we decide to do it, and I'm like, oh, now I forget everything. I gotta watch it again. So I watched it like the day after we decided to do it with the commentary. Then I watched it this morning, and then I watched 3/4 of it again with the commentary this afternoon.
Wow.
Yeah.
In the background as I'm working.
Right. I did not watch it at once. I don't think that's a good idea.
I don't think anyone.
Even though you went to the movies twice to try to do that. Exactly.
I know, but we didn't see it all the way the
first time. So
just to say you did it. That's why you guys went back the second time, just to say you did it.
You gotta go see it twice just to say you did it.
Yeah. So yeah, are they wearing different like suits now too?
Yeah, they wear special silver ones.
Oh boy, yeah.
More figures.
They somehow have 11 minutes to spare, but have changed outfits.
Yeah, right. We have 11.
They got like the bats, like the ski mobile bat thing.
Yeah, yeah.
This one
that drives
at the time,
about 3 miles an hour.
I definitely didn't see this movie or the last one in the movie theater. I was like so done with it at that point. But I was really angry seeing those toys. I was like, look at the stupid fucking yellow Batman or the snow Batman. Like, I hate this so much. Now I kind of embrace it in a way.
Yeah, so I feel like if it came out now, you'd go see it in the theater, buy it on digital, whatever, buy a Blu-ray, buy a
buy the
35
4K
print of it, buy the actual bat suit.
35 millimeter print.
Finally get cast as Robin, but in Batman Beyond live action.
There you go. Is there a Robin in Batman Beyond? I don't even remember.
Well, there's not.
Is there? Oh, okay. But not like a Robin.
No, I would be right. They would because this timeline's so screwed up.
So yeah, they get up in there. Well, first of all, there's a really dumb part where Barbara gets shot off of her cycle and just kind of somehow goes forward and lands on Dick's little boat thing, and it makes no sense. Whatever. Here. So yeah, they get up into the observatory. They're going to use some sort of science thing with the satellites, and like, oh well, it's daytime in whatever
in
country.
The Congo or something.
The Congo, so we'll use that to melt the things or whatever. And, it makes no sense. Oh, and the 2 doctors, the woman from Flatliners and this other guy, are there, and they use these bat heaters, which look just like bats, of course, to unfreeze them because they're important because Batman has to save them like 3 times in the next 11 minutes. And the battle is stupid. Like, what is the deal?
Battle is stupid. You keep
Oh,
going,
but
and then there's this stupid part, and then they say
yeah.
something stupid, and now there's this other stupid thing that's happening.
Take a drink every time I say that something in this movie is stupid. We talked about Val Kilmer's suit in the last one and how like it was different, and like, they actually used that to audition like even current Batman and stuff. But could George Clooney just not move at all in this, or was it? I don't know. Whatever it was, the fighting is terrible.
Joel Schumacher said that the suit weighed 50 pounds, and the cowl and the cape was an additional 50 pounds.
Oh
and couldn't do much, and you can't hear in it. You can't do much in it, so
like Frankenstein
probably why.
style. And not to mention Bane's Frankenstein boots. He fucking stomps a hole in the floor.
And he goes like you can only speak in one word sentences.
It made me think of when we were kids and we were playing Thundar the Barbarian together, and we were like, Ookla, Frisbee, and then you said, Landa, ball.
And ball, yeah.
Yeah, that's what Bane reminds me of, is your version of Ookla.
Ookla, the mock. Well, Bane is defeated rather easily, even though, so he's choking out Barbara and Robin, and they just like kick his little tube out, and he goes back down to like
turns back into a little wimp.
I didn't know that until I watched it this time that he shrinks down to a scrawny man. That it's like what I look like.
Oh, wow. Could be worse.
They put a scrawny man in the well, I'm not scrawny exactly, but I was at a certain point. But that, yeah, like he's like in the big Bane costume, but it's all shrunken down. It's kind of pretty. That's actually pretty funny to me.
It is pretty funny. But yeah, so meanwhile, Batman is fighting Freeze, and like the two doctors are there, and they keep getting in danger to be saving them. And the guy says, "It's one of those days."
I was like, what?
Why do you have to say that? Like, why do you have to put that?
Because it is one of those days.
For us. So he puts one of his bat heaters on Mr. Freeze, and he says, "Hey, Freeze, the heat is on." Ba-da-da-da-da.
That would be great if he did sing.
TV-38.
That's right, TV-38 here in North Dakota.
The game is on. Yeah, when we used to watch the North Dakotans,
Reds
turkey
Tallywhackers.
Yes, the turkey tallywhackers.
They're gonna melt everything, but meanwhile, Freeze has planted these little ice bombs that look like icicles or whatever, and blows everything up. And he says, "Freeze in hell!" And then like,
you should have said, "I'll see you in hell when it freezes over."
No, that would have been
anything could have been better than most of what they said.
At this point in the movie, especially if you've taken it in chunks, and you're like just toward the end here, and you're just kind of like everything is, as John would say, a groaner or an eye roll. Everything they say, everything they do, every set piece, everything about it at the end here is just like
one of the cars that crashes that gets frozen, you can clearly see the icicles on it like wobbling because they're rubber. So, and that dog that's taking a piss.
The dog is peeing on the fire hydrant. It's like, we have to have that. So yeah, meanwhile, like Batman uses his bat rope because everything after his bombs go off, everything is sort of just falling, and Batman uses like the bat rope thing, which they do many times, and he saves the two doctors, and it's basically like our audio comic. It's kind of like, thank you, Senators for living down.
I kept thinking of there's one with Ray goes, "We're falling," and that was what I kept thinking about in this movie where we kept falling.
There's a lot of falling, yeah. But then there's like a whole thing where like, oh, we need a computer genius to get this. And she's like, I'll take care of it.
Oh, more of that woke crap.
Yeah, right.
I'm saying this
like,
all
you can do everything. You're like a cool biker.
Just like the Shana Na ad in the 70s where if a guy can do it, a girl can too.
Yeah.
I remember that. Was that the 70s?
It was, well, I mean, it kept running into the 80s.
Oh, well, right.
That was back when everybody just used to run the same commercials for 15 years.
Yeah. That's great. Because I remember that one to this day.
Had
40 years later. But yeah, it's like, he says, you're pretty cool. Ooh. He says, you're pretty good at this, little girl. And she says, watch and learn, old man. Say that. That's okay.
Watch and learn, you geriatric old fool.
Yeah, kind of in the line readings of like us in an audio comic.
Oh,
Yeah,
very much.
except not good.
Except turned up enough. Like, our audio comics are tame.
It's ridiculous.
So Freeze is there, and Batman, because I guess we didn't mention, not that it matters, but Alfred has McGregor syndrome, the same thing that Nora Freeze has. So,
Which McGregor syndrome is named after the producer.
not
Scott,
you.
whatever his
A little inside joke there.
McGonagall.
McGonagall. So then he basically plays Freeze the exact scene of Poison Ivy admitting that she pulled the plug on Nora Freeze. He's like, no! He's like, that's okay. She's okay. She's alive.
She's all right.
Now you have to help my guy. And he says, take 2 of these and call me in the morning. Which I was like, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the point where we left.
Oh, okay. So that was pretty much the end.
And it's like weird because he has stage 1 and Freeze has a cure to stage 1, but not the other stages. But Alfred can still live because he's still in the window. But as long as
he's got
tubes,
he's got the cure for exit stage. Exit stage left. Heavens to Murgatroyd.
And I love Alfred. Did you guys notice when Alfred comes back, they're like, hey, you're okay. And he says, thanks to you.
I did notice that. I was hoping it would come up.
I was almost going to text you guys. Oh, yeah. So, like, yeah, they're going to give Freeze, first of all, I don't know why I'm analyzing this, but first of all, he tells Freeze, oh, we're going to send Nora over to Arkham so you can work on her while you're, in Arkham. But meanwhile, like, Ivy is sitting in there and Freeze is like, I'm your cellmate. Like,
yes, so she didn't die. So she comes back.
Yeah, she didn't
die.
die.
This is a very progressive insane asylum.
Yeah, I was gonna say they got co-ed cells with supervillains.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
And then we get the whole moment where they all say they're going to band together as partners. And then he says, we're going to need a bigger cave. And
thanks to you.
And then they all run towards the screen, just like the last one. It was just the 2 of them, and now it's the 3 of them. And we get the
what they're doing is they're running away from all the angry Batman fans.
All the people that want to make
the
George Clooney pay them.
It's like the beginning of Strange Brew, where they're like, look, they're giving refunds in the alley. Get them.
But also, wasn't that a funny Schumacher moment in the commentary? Because he's like, yeah, so that was Batman and Robin. So, all right. And then you can like hear him take his like headphones off and just walk away. No one thinks he's not. You can just tell he just kind of ends it like so casually. He's like,
yeah, he's like, I'm just gonna let the movie speak for itself or something. Here you go. I'll let Arnold take you out.
But pull the car around, Alfred. He has an assistant named Alfred too.
He's got an Alfred too. Yeah,
Alfred McGregor.
He's like, I heard Coolio's got a cookout, and we can stop by.
Coolio, let's go to that cookout. Coolio was sitting there the whole time.
Wanted a few dogs. Yeah, but unfortunately, we have, I think R. Kelly is the song at the end, right? I think so.
It's Smashing Pumpkins first.
I made all day to look up the soundtrack to this, but did not at all.
Was it the end is the beginning is the end or something?
Yeah, something like that. Everybody's like, they remember the Seal song, but no one remembers the Smashing Pumpkins song.
Or there was also an REM song, I think.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that.
Was not as good as the last soundtrack. Just like everything else. Not as good as the last one. But yeah, that's the end of that. That was the end of Batman until Christopher Nolan came along years later. As far as movies, I guess they did a few shows here and there. A few shows. But yeah, like as we noted in the beginning, even the studio was like, why don't we put this one on the back burner for now?
Right.
Yeah, and also, as you guys pointed out, I didn't mention this. I meant to, but so John Glover said that Joel Schumacher would sit on a crane with a megaphone, and each take before they would yell action, he would say, remember everyone, this is a cartoon. And that's basically what we got.
Yeah. That's we did, sir.
Cartoon would have been more fun. Oh well.
Look at how great
All
the
right.
animated series is.
Well, that's true. All right. So, what do we think of Batman and Robin? Who wants to go first?
I guess I will. No one's stepping forward to volunteer.
never go
Thurston
first.
always
I go
said he takes himself out of the running in the way he introduces.
All right. Do you want me to go first? Oh,
Well,
no.
hey,
I'm
thanks
just
for
saying that
talking,
in the way you're introducing. You're like, who among
right.
us that's not me would
no,
like
I
to go
can go.
first?
I don't have a problem. I
No,
feel like
don't.
I've said enough.
It's good to hear you though.
Yeah, it was.
Thanks for talking.
Yeah.
I'll go.
All right.
Go. Do it.
What did I give fucking Batman Forever a B or something?
Think so.
We all did.
This one does not have a heart in it, but in kind of what I think John is maybe going to say in his review, although certainly would never speak for him.
Yeah,
But,
thanks for talking for me.
Thanks for talking. But anyway, I know it's good to hear me, but what I'm getting at is the elements of it that are touching the Batman 66 and the camp, and like looking at your models, even like I just like I kind of like that. I like that there's those different bat suits, and that it's like kind of I've seen in the last 20 years of comics like how different writers will incorporate stuff from like kind of all over the place and everything. Like I like that this exists, but this is a really, really bad movie. It is a flat D.
I never heard you say something.
It is a
flat
flat
D?
D.
Wow.
But I give it a little some highlight moments, like as you were saying, like when I like all because we're obsessed with Alfred. And now we did that thing on Substack, but the Alfred stuff is like kind of cool. And I mean, I don't understand the Batman Robin relationship kind of at all. Like he's way too old. I hated it then. I hate it now, but there's like something charming and comic booky in Batman 66 about this movie that appeals to my sensibilities, but only because I'm a broad spectrum Batman fan. I like all of the Batman. So that's where I'm coming from. Flat D.
Very
Flat
well.
D. Wow.
Right.
Very
All right, I'll go
well.
next.
All right.
C minus, and
okay.
and
Wow.
like logically, I know this movie is an F, right? I know it's terrible. It is horrible. It's bad on every level.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it just got me the right way this time, and I was on board for the stupidity. And
Yes,
I guess my feeling sort of mirror Clay's, except I just went up from a flat D to just a slightly higher grade.
Right.
It's not good. The acting is horrible, but I was just like, I'm gonna enjoy it for what it is. Bad acting, bad script, bad everything. The score is okay, I guess, and I kind of like that Batmobile, even though it's really ridiculous and over the top.
Right.
So yeah, there you go. That's my feelings. It's dumb, but I kind of had a good time with it this time.
Yeah. Okay.
But it did give us also the Nolan trilogy, which the 2 out of 3 weren't bad.
In the MCU, apparently.
Right.
Right.
according to
So
Kevin
yeah,
Feige.
it really set the table for better things to come. And then fucking superhero fatigue because there's just too much of it now.
Well, yeah.
Please.
Well, we've had a break now, I guess. Hasn't been too much to speak of.
Now the Marvels are coming.
Well, that's like November.
November's only a month away.
Well, still.
I didn't
It's been
even
a
know there's
while.
an Expendables 4 out right now until last night. Like I'm just so
Well,
not.
why would you care about Expendables?
I don't. I'm just saying, like, I am so not plugged in anymore to like what is coming out for movies.
Yeah, I know what you mean. All right. I think all of everything. I agree with everything except remember last one? I said like I kind of watched it the way that we'd watch like Moonraker or whatever, right? We were doing both.
That's how I went into this too, like that.
Yeah, you have to be like, this is the movie. They made some choices, that I,
Not good ones,
whatever, not great, but that they really, they made some. This wasn't the choices I would have made, but they That's what they chose. But like this one, and we said this in Batman Forever, but like everything they did in Batman Forever was turned up a notch, and just it's too much. It's too much. And it was very similar to our movie Durst and the Fire Starter back in the day, or just like no, I mean that's the best comparison I can make.
Yeah,
It's like
that's
we were kids in fucking high school making
the
some
video
movie.
camera. Yeah, we knew we couldn't make anything great, so we made something bad on purpose.
Yeah, but these guys had millions and millions and millions of dollars,
And they still made something bad.
and they made something bad because I guess bad on purpose, but look, they could have made a good movie and they just chose to make the worst.
A good Batman story and have it be family friendly. You could
Yeah.
do it. I mean, just gotta just not go down that stupid cheesy route.
I know,
Yeah.
I know.
Sometimes,
I mean, I'm talking about a guy that dresses up as a bat too. I
Yeah.
mean, you know,
Yeah.
kind of the whole concept is a little goofy in the first place, but
Yeah,
you
if you overthink it, yeah, but
sometimes you can like you squint your eyes. Like sometimes I can squint my brain and like imagine this as like a comic book, and I go, oh, like poison. I picture somebody drawing like, oh, and Ivy like blew the stuff, and then that person's under their control, and then Bane walks in. You know, like a kind of just like the ideas of the figures, like doing
I
these
get it.
things.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like why I can even give this movie a D and like take some moments out of this where it's like, oh, if I was reading that on the page, I would think that was kind of cool. You know what I mean?
Especially the part where she blows the pheromones in Commissioner Gordon's face. He's like, "Don't leave."
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, you're too old for me.
You're
He's
too
like, no,
old.
I'm not. You're too
I know.
fat. No, I'm not. You're too dumb. No.
doing good.
I'd like to point out that Mrs. Elder, because we have a fair amount of poison ivy in our yard.
A pheromone.
a pheromone. Yes, a pheromone.
We have a lot of poison ivy in the yard, and she always refers to it as poison ivy.
I guess like when we were talking about Uma Thurman, I almost started to turn like maybe that's like we said, she was just like, I'm just gonna lean into this. I know it's dumb, but like nobody. It seems like George Clooney was really trying.
I think
I don't
George
know.
Clooney was just exhausted, so he was just showing up. That's the feeling I got.
Yeah, because they did like 3 days or 4 days like split
he was-
in between ER and
filming
the
ER
TV.
like a couple days
Right.
of this on like the weekends, and sort of like Michael J. Fox in Back to the Future.
Yeah, go back and listen to our Back to the Future episode.
Yeah, set that one right up for you.
Thanks. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, to me, like we talk about bad movies a lot, and I talk about bad movies a lot, and like sometimes it's like, oh, they didn't have budget to make a better movie or whatever, but this might be the worst movie of all time. Like, this is like to me, this is just the
This is
bad movie.
This is the Batman and Robin of Batman movies.
Yeah, I mean, this is like sort of the
Yeah.
measuring stick of all bad movies to me. Like, well, at least it's not Batman or Robin. Like, even Batman v Superman, right? Like a movie that I just did not like at all. Like, well, at least it wasn't Batman or Robin bad. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
so I can't give it anything higher than an F. Have I ever given an F?
Oh,
I don't
know.
know.
I don't know.
I
Maybe you
don't
can
know.
sort of sniff. I don't know.
No, I didn't give
No,
it.
I don't think
I
so.
did. I don't think I did. But you're right. It's an F, and I can't even give it like the ironic, like, oh, I still enjoyed it kind of thing. 'Cause I really only
You can't
watched
squint your brain as much as
Can't
I
really
can.
squint my brain. I mean, I can, but then it comes like back around and goes like, no, but
it kind of hits you so quick. Like if like ever I was like touched by a moment, a second later there would be like a dumb puppet that like was like the worst special effects I've seen in years. Like the next scene, it's like, oh, what? I was just on a little tiny, not even a roller coaster. I'm in line for the roller coaster, but now I'm getting off
Yeah.
the line.
yeah. And I think what we said earlier, what John said earlier, I think too, is like, it kind of offends me. It offends me as a person, like.
Oh, it
and I know
it
it's terrible,
furiously
but-
offended me at the time. By the way, I think I was done with both of those all their movies that didn't have Michael Keaton. I was so mad that I wasn't cast, first of all, as Robin. But second of all, I was just like, I was like angry young man, college man at the time, and wow, was I angry. I hated it so much.
Yeah, I don't think I was like a regular comic book reader at the time, but I was a film student and I was a person who thought like one day I want people to give me money to make a movie, and they gave these people millions, hundreds of millions of dollars to make a movie, and they made this piece of crap.
Well, what's unfortunate about this is that Joel Schumacher's done a number of good movies,
Oh yeah,
but
no, I
a
like
lot of people just kind of remember him for this one.
I know. It's
And
kind of too
he
bad.
said something about that a little bit, like before he apologized. He was like, yeah, they didn't want to go dark, so I gave them kind of what they wanted. And like, if you want to see dark movies, like check out any of my other movies, pretty much. Like I
Yeah.
just gave them what they want. And I feel like the suits and the we didn't even say it this time, but the toyetic, that stuff. I think kind of like, I don't want to say it's not like he's Tim Burton where it's like it like would mess up his vision. But what it did do was I think it kind of got away from him. Like when he's like, yeah, I guess I have 5 bat suits. But then he was also saying like, I had nothing to do with it, like physically with that. I just had to make sure it was in the movie. But he just kind of, I feel like, let them run shot over the movie that wasn't going to be great anyways. But, they're like, insert more toys, insert more whatever.
Yeah.
And he just kind of was like, well, I'm swimming against the tide here if I do anything else, so I'm just going to do this.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're paying your salary, and we've heard stories for years about people in Hollywood going against the studios, or sometimes a director will be like, "I want to shoot it this way, and you can take it out of my pay, or whatever." You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And if it works, you can pay me back and stuff
But
like. We hear all these
here's
stories.
here's like they came out. The movie he did just before this was A Time to Kill, which was about
Yeah.
the racial tensions in the South, and the writer Akiva Goldsman, right?
Yep. Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
I think
He went on and
doing-
won an Academy Award for A Beautiful Mind, writing the script for that.
That's-
So these guys
right.
can do good stuff. They
that
just
guy's
right.
a Star Trek guy.
didn't.
in some
Yeah, he's
ways,
the
too.
producer. Go back and listen to our Batman Forever episode. I mentioned it. Thanks for talking.
Oh, it's good to hear.
No, you're right. I mean, we're not talking about people who don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They are getting paid by the studio to do a certain thing, and they just, you can't really fault them, I guess, for
Look
being
at
like,
I
okay.
have worked on a number of projects that I hate. And but you got to do, like, I'm like, well, do I keep my artistic integrity or do I pay the mortgage?
Right, right. Well, did you ever have to pay anyone back if they bought a
No,
book
I've
that you
gotten
didn't-
fucked over where they didn't pay me. So
Oh, well,
yeah, no,
they-
people haven't walked up to me on the street and said, that book, that graphic novel whore really offended me. I want my money back. And I go, well, go talk to the writer. I'm
I know,
I'm just a hired schmuck.
right. So, I mean, that's what Joel Schumacher and probably many people in this movie were doing. Just you're paying me to do a certain thing, and I will do it. So, this is what you get. And there is a certain, we should go back too, like mentally, yeah, we had seen Tim Burton, but like, it's still, the comic book movies weren't really a thing. We had seen like some pretty bad Christopher Reeve Superman movies too,
Yeah,
right?
but another movie that came out around that time was Steel.
Was that the one with Shaq?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shaq? Yeah, I mean, like, this was a different time, as we like to say.
which
That's
like
right.
yeah, like kind of ruined like a cool concept for like for Superman after Death of Superman or whatever. But like that did not pull it off. I don't think I could even watch that movie.
No, I don't think so either. So, I mean, it's fine to be like, oh, this movie stinks, which it does. No, who
I think if I
cared?
had seen this at 7 years old, I would have thought it was the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, I was watching like a thing on
Yeah.
YouTube, and there were two guys who were trying to defend this. They were like, I think the video was called "In Defense of Batman and Robin." Like, it's not as bad as you think. It's not
Oh,
as
I
bad
think I
as
may
you
have
think.
watched that as well.
And I was like, I mean, it is. But they were like, when I saw this as a kid, and you're like, well, of course you're gonna think. I mean, I thought Star Wars was great when I saw it as a kid. New Hope.
Yeah.
If I watched it now as a 40-year-old guy, I think this movie's pretty
Now?
dumb. You know what I mean? Yeah, now.
Yeah, I feel like
So-
that I don't know. I think we're talking about the same thing. I think that's those guys' podcast is they put themselves in the Zardoz, Batman and Robin kind of headspace when they do their episodes. Like, what is this? Is it good? You know, like,
Right.
trying to pull something out of it that they like, maybe.
Sure. And I get it. It's a thing because everyone hates this movie. So we're going to tell you why we like it. But I
There's
can't.
only
I couldn't watch it.
5 other podcast episodes even about this movie in the entire world.
That's right. And most of them are talking about how dumb it is. So, all right. Whatever. I mean, piece of crap. I don't think anyone's surprised. I mean, I guess John gave it a higher grade than I would have thought, but you kind of did spoil it.
Yeah, sorry, but yeah.
That's okay. I thought you were going to say like A.
No, God, no. It's I know it's terrible. I just happen to have a moderately okay time watching it this time.
Well, there you go.
I
I guess
watched
that's what's all
Batman
about,
66 like a month ago. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I was like, ooh, I wonder what, is this Joker going to burn a pile of money? Like, no, I know that Adam West would be running down the pier with a big bomb.
He'll be having in a surfing competition against the Joker.
I'm just
With
like,
a
I'm
shark
along for
repellent.
I'm along for the ride. I like just, poison ivy below me, and then I just was in love with it, like for that hour or whatever,
Sure. I mean, you're right. We, people take this stuff way too seriously sometimes.
And it is one thing that gives it any points at all is that it's a Batman movie because I fucking love Batman. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's what pulls it out of the F. Because there's plenty of other movies out there that don't have Batman in them at all, and I don't know why people would even watch it.
That's right.
Movie's got no Batman in it.
Yeah, it's movie. Bunch of movies.
Schindler's List, though. I don't care.
No Batman.
Batman. It's not.
With AI, we could probably get those VFX guys to insert Batman into the one color scene, and
yeah,
probably Robert Pattinson Batman.
He could save some Jews.
Yeah.
All right, shouldn't talk about this anymore. That's getting. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Don't forget to check us out on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts, and on YouTube as well. Clay's got some cool videos up there.
Yesterday I made leakpodcast.com/89, and that's going to have all 4 of these episodes there, sitting there waiting for you.
Ooh.
You literally can go back and listen to our Batman 89. So remember it, Batman 89, leakpodcast.com/Batman89. Thank you very much.
Once again, that's Batman 89.
Good night, and good luck.
Not available in Tennessee. Or whatever that thing was back.
Currently streaming only out of North Dakota. Restrictions apply. Make cause notion.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. LeakPodcast.com.
Adios.